Today, I wanted to talk about being unable to convince someone who is not willing to listen to reason, who is not listening to understand instead of respond, and someone who is not open to the possibilities that there can be a different knowledge and truth of whatever topic you may be talking about. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome back to Endure, Believe, Rise. I hope this message reaches you in good energy. I hope you and your loved ones are in good health. So we have an awesome quote here today. So let's get into it. Quote of the day. I don't know how to convince you of what I'm saying when you have already made up your mind about me. Sophia Falcon. Song of the day. Shelter by the XX. So if you don't know who Sophia Falcone is, she is a character in the Batman or Gotham world. She is a daughter of a mafia family member. And this quote was said by her when she was inside Arkham Asylum, wrongfully accused of murder and being mentally ill, being a psychopath, so to speak. And she was talking to her psychiatrist, her evaluator, and saying basically, I don't know how to change your mind. You've already made it up. Now, while she is talking in a confined or a context, I should say, of trying to prove her innocence, this scenario, this quote rings bells throughout our everyday. There's so many entendres, there's so many connotations that we can use this scenario in, this quote in, because you can take the end of that sentence, me, and you can replace it with anything. You can replace it with religion. You could replace it with politics. You could replace it with health. You can replace it with mathematics, with education, with positivity, with motivation, with music, with gaming. You can replace the topic of me with any other topic or situation. And this quote still says the same. I don't know how to convince you of what I'm saying when you've already made up your mind about X, Y, and Z. I don't know how to convince you about the topic, situation, or organization when you've already made up your mind about the topic, situation, or organization. You've already chose to come to this meeting, this conversation, this gathering with pre-connotations, pre-notions of what the truth is. And you have no earthly area or in your repertoire to say that what you're thinking could be false. Even if new evidence is introduced, these people will not move off their mount. Now, let's not get it twisted. Let's back up here for a minute. We all come to every engagement with a precondition of thinking what we know, what we think the truth is. That we have an idea and understanding of what the laws and what the beliefs are. That we are operating in a realm of reality. We all believe that. But the logical people are open to the fact that, hey, I've been wrong before, I might be wrong again. And they listen to understand rather than listening to respond. On my inner circle, in my day-to-day, I am bombarded with people constantly because of the life that I have chosen to live, because of the message that I have chosen to give, and because of the circles that I choose to walk in. I am bombarded with people who are constantly engaging me, who are wanting to listen to respond instead of listening to understand. And you always know somebody who's listening to respond and understand because they don't ask follow-up questions to what you said. They don't stay on topic to what you say. They don't pry. They don't have anything to give. They just keep reiterating the same information that they gave before. Well, no, that's wrong because. Well, no, that's wrong because you haven't given me anything that says what I've told you to be disproved, to be an illusion, to be that it might be a false or partial information. You're not listening to understand. You're just listening to respond. You just came over here to tell me that you're right and I'm wrong. With people like that, this is a great question. I don't know how to convince them because you're not supposed to. Do not waste your time. This is your daily confirmation. This is your daily affirmation. When you run into people like that, send them on their way or you go on yours. You're not to stand there and argue with a brick wall. You're not to stand there and argue with a tree. If they do not want to listen to understand, if they do not have the logical thinking, the calm temperament, being out of their emotions, so to speak, where they can sit there and listen to logical, reasonable facts, there's no reason for you to have a conversation with them. Do not waste your energy on that. And this is another thing I want to stop here, because I am not telling you not to educate the world. I'm not telling you not to help your fellow brother and sisters, your fellow people. I am not telling you not to engage and put knowledge out there. What I am saying is pick your battles. Learn to pick your battles and stay away from those who aren't really looking to be helped. If someone is coming to you and they're asking questions and they want, by all means, you spend as much time with that person as you need to be so that you can help them understand the same mindset as you. But if someone is coming to you just for adversity, just to pick and pry, just to get a rise out of you, just to gaslight you or bait you, there's no reason for you to sit there and continue to indulge yourself with that. You cannot make up your mind. You cannot make up someone's mind. You cannot convince them when they have already decided on what they think reality is. No matter how wrong they are and how right you are, standing there arguing with them will only have a temporary goal of accomplishment. Because a day from now, a week from now, heck, it might even be an hour from now, they're going to go back to their train of thinking. It's one of the laws in the 48 laws of power that win through action, not through word. Because words are fleeting. Words can be forgotten, but actions, they make a stamp. Now, that's not to say that actions can't be forgotten, but they are much stronger than words are. If you tell somebody that, hey, I'm the strongest person in this gym and can't nobody touch me, I'm do my thing, and then you walk out of there, they might look at your physique and believe you. They might look at your physique and not believe you. They might say, you know what, I'm going to take it into consideration. But there's no doubt if you go over there and load the bench up with 315 and then start getting it out in regular reps, just repping it out in 10. There's no doubt if you go load 500 up on the squat rack and then just start squatting it out for 10 reps. See, now you have an argument of, they're going to be like, well, he might be the strongest person in this city, let alone this gym, if he's just repping out 500 squats like it's nothing. So action sticks in their head more, right? And if you're going to sit there and argue with somebody, make sure that you can put action behind it. And if you're going to sit there and argue with somebody, make sure it's something that's worth it. Make sure that they're willing to listen. But in my humble opinion, I think it's not worth it to argue with anybody. Educate people that want to be educated. Inform people that want to be informed. Partake knowledge to those who are seeking knowledge. But those who come to you just to argue, just to tell you that they're right and you're wrong, this is me telling you, please don't waste your time on that. You have too many other things that are important in life that you can accomplish, too much more happiness that you can have than trying to convince somebody that something is the way it is, that it isn't. So I'll leave you with the story. And this is a personal story of someone who I had to just leave alone, let them come to their senses, right? I had a friend, and we're still friends now, and they were convinced that I was a mean person. They had become afraid of me. And I had never done anything for this person to do that. And I did what I could to explain to that person, to reiterate to that person, to ensure that person, I am not a threatening individual, that you have nothing to be scared of when it comes to me. And yet this person continually had that opinion of me. You know, I understand that we all have done things, or maybe I shouldn't say we all have, but I understand that I have done things that can make people afraid to approach me, right? I understand that I have done things that make people say that, you know, I would be, I don't want to get on his bad side, right? I understand those things. And I have gone through amends to make sure that those people understand that there's nothing to be afraid of when you're around me. With this person, the reason I'm saying this, with this person, I've never done anything, even the slightest bit, to make this person see hostility in me. I've never cursed at this person. I've never threatened this person. I've never cornered this person or invaded their personal space without their permission. I've never told them I'm going to do something to them if they're going to do a thing. I've never cursed at this person. I've never even raised my voice with this person. And yet this person was terrified of me. And it was because of all the facts that they had conceived from other people. It was because of all the facts that they had conceived about who I am and what my identity was. Seeing, this particular group of people acts like this. I identify you with that particular group of people, so you must act like that too. So what did I do? I said, okay. And they said, okay. I said, okay. If you are scared of me, if you are frightened of me sitting here trying to prove my case is not going to help it. It's not going to say, oh, the more I tell you that you shouldn't be afraid of me, that you are. You're going to be more afraid. So I let that person, gave that person their distance, their space, and I let them, live their life. We still communicated, not as much because, you could imagine it would be hard to communicate with someone who is terrified of you. Nobody wants to be looked at least I know most people don't want to be looked at as a villain, especially when they're not doing any villain activity, right? Eventually, that person came to me and said, I owe you an apology. And I said, no, you don't. What are you talking about? Why are you saying that? And they were like, I'm sorry. And I was like, I don't understand where this is coming from. In my opinion, we've always been on good terms. And they said, I recently met someone who showed me exactly what terrifying looks like. And I have absolutely no reason to ever have thought that of you. And that's the thing. That's the one thing that I want you to take away from this video, if nothing else, is the truth. The truth doesn't need an alibi. And failure permits no excuses. So while that person was wrong about me, the truth comes out eventually. And sometimes it takes a long time. And I know that that's not comforting, that you have to wait for your day in the sun. But I guarantee you, as long as the sun comes up every single day, truth will reveal itself. Doesn't need me or you to alibi it, to preach it down. All the truth needs is time. And with that being said, don't waste your time trying to convince somebody of the truth who's already made up their mind that they want to believe in a lie. All right, guys, I need you to take care of yourselves. Please be kind to one another. Keep me in your prayers. I'll forever keep you in mind. Endure, believe, rise.